Welcome to the Deep Dive Library, where we don't just read entrepreneurial books, we dissect them. If you're serious about building empires, you're in the right place.
Exactly. Each week, we try to uncover those secrets top founders maybe won't always share.
Subscribe now. Missing one episode might just be the mistake that keeps you average.
Yeah.
Seriously, if this gave you even one insight, imagine what you'll miss if you don't subscribe.
Hit that button. Your future self will thank you.
Okay, so today we're tackling Small Business for Beginners and Dummies by Giovanni Richters, narrated by Connor Sullivan.
Right. And our mission here really is to cut through maybe some of the introductory stuff and just pull out the crucial, actionable insights. You know, for anyone who's really serious about launching and, importantly, scaling a small business.
Yeah, not just starting, but growing it. We're not just going to summarize this book, like taking it apart piece by piece.
We'll be looking at the core reasons why taking that entrepreneurial leap might be the right move for you. And then how to actually get going, you know, from just a vague idea to a concrete plan.
And the tricky parts, like navigating funding, setting up a decent online presence, which is huge now, and getting the hang of basic marketing.
Absolutely. And beyond those foundational bits, we'll also drill down on building and nurturing a team. Because let's face it, you can't build an empire alone.
No way. And also identifying those common pitfalls, the things that can, trip up even really enthusiastic beginners.
Yeah. So think of this as your kind of accelerated learning curve, designed to give you a bit of a strategic edge right from the start.
Okay, so let's dive right in. The book starts with the big question. Why even think about starting your own business?
Right. Richters makes the case that, yeah, it's challenging, no doubt, but the entrepreneurial path can be incredibly fulfilling. It shifts you from, being an anonymous employee to the one actually calling the shots.
And here's where it gets really interesting. The financial side. The book hits this hard right away. As an employee, your income's tied to a salary, right? Often kind of limited, even if you're creating massive value.
But as a business owner, you're the main beneficiary of your hard work, your smart decisions. It's about building an actual asset, not just, collecting a paycheck.
And we see this all the time now, those side hustles people start. Yeah. They really can grow into full-time, substantial businesses.
What's fascinating, though, is how the book links that financial drive with passion. It's not just about the money, though, obviously that's important.
Right.
He argues that having a real deep passion for what you're doing gives you the grit, the resilience you need to push through the tough spots.
Which there will definitely be.
Oh, absolutely. Consider this. The book mentions, I think it's almost 2/3 of small businesses fail within the first 2 years.
Wow. Yeah.
So that's passion. That can be the key thing that keeps you going when things get really hard. Plus, you naturally start connecting with others who share that same energy.
Totally agree. And, for anyone who's dealt with frustrating corporate environments, well, that pull towards autonomy and control is really strong.
Definitely. Being your own boss means you make the decisions, you set the schedule. Now, the book is honest. It often means more hours initially.
Yeah, it usually does.
But those hours feel different, right? They're invested in your thing, your goals.
And think about the learning aspect, connecting this to building something significant.
Yeah.
Starting a business is like a crash course in everything: strategy, finance, marketing.
Oh yeah, stuff you might only touch briefly in a specific corporate role. You develop this holistic view, these crucial skills like, financial literacy, way faster.
It's a huge contrast to potentially getting stuck in one lane. For people feeling like their career's kind of stalled, the book talks about taking control of your destiny. No more waiting for promotions or restructuring.
Yeah, you make mistakes for sure, but they're your mistakes to learn from, directly tied to your growth and your business's success.
That brings up another point, the motivation beyond just personal gain. Richters mentions that desire to create positive change, maybe out of disillusionment with typical corporate structures.
As a business owner, you can create jobs, maybe give chances to people who get overlooked, build the kind of work culture you actually want.
He even hints that a successful business can be a launch pad for other things, maybe even nonprofit work later on.
And here's a slightly counterintuitive idea he throws out. Being your own boss could actually lead to more personal time.
How so? Seems like you'd have less.
Well, the flexibility. You can structure your day around family, hobbies, well-being in a way a rigid 9 to 5 often doesn't allow, if you manage it right, of course.
Okay, I see that. So ultimately, he wraps up this why section by saying a lot of businesses start simply because someone spots an unmet need, right?
Exactly. Or sees a way to do something much better than what's already out there, identifying those opportunities.
Okay, so let's say you're fired up, ready to go. Chapter 2 gets practical. The idea and the plan.
Yeah, the book's blunt. No idea, no business. Simple as that. But if you're stuck, research is key. And for beginners, a big focus is often finding something with, low upfront costs.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So what kind of beginner-friendly ideas does he suggest?
Well, he starts with online courses. You basically just need a laptop and internet, leveraging skills you already have.
And the range of topics is huge.
Massive. Then, digital products beyond courses. Things like digital art, music, photos, maybe even writing, podcasts.
Like this one.
Exactly. The big win there is no shipping, no manufacturing costs. Create it once, sell it multiple times.
What about physical products?
He mentions handmade goods. There's a huge market for that, think Etsy. Soaps, jewelry, art, you name it. And then there's drop shipping. That's basically e-commerce without holding inventory. A third party handles storage and shipping.
So your job is mainly marketing and customer service.
Pretty much. Lower risk, lower initial cost.
But an idea, even a good one, isn't enough, right? The book hammers home market research.
Oh, absolutely. Richter's calls it the most crucial step. It's not just ticking a box, it's about validating your whole concept.
So understanding your potential customer, their needs, their pain points.
Exactly. And crucially, does a real market actually exist for what you want to sell? You need to know that first.
And beyond who they are, it's about how they behave.
Yeah. Where do they shop? Online, offline. This immediately shows why having a website and social media is usually non-negotiable now.
Okay, what else?
Understanding demand. Is it a necessity or a nice to have? What payment methods do they prefer? Keeping up with trends is vital too. Markets change constantly.
And checking out the competition, obviously.
Essential. How many others are doing something similar? How will you be different? What are they charging? That helps set your own pricing.
How do you actually do this research?
Richter's talks about using existing resources saves time, but might be outdated. Or doing your own new research, like surveys or focus groups. More effort, maybe more cost, but it's current and specific.
So probably a mix of both.
Ideally, yeah. He also really pushes talking directly to potential customers. Get feedback early, even on logos or product ideas.
Okay, got the idea, done the research. Next up,
Right.
the business plan. Sounds intimidating.
It can be, but the book argues it's vital, not just for investors, but for you to organize your thoughts.
Forces you to think about funding, the product details, scalability, even an exit strategy.
All of it. He outlines two main types. First, the traditional plan, very detailed.
Like, what's in that?
Executive summary, company deep dive, product service details, market analysis, really thorough your marketing strategy, org chart, and a comprehensive financial plan with projections. Plus, an appendix for supporting docs.
That sounds like a lot of work.
It is, but it shows serious planning. Then there's the lean business plan. Shorter, more flexible, better maybe for startups.
What's covered there?
Key stuff in bullet points. Strategy, customer pain point solutions, target markets, key partners, resources, revenue model, cost structure. More agile.
Okay. Moving into chapter 3. Financing and legal structure. Often the biggest hurdles, right?
Definitely. The book acknowledges getting capital is tough, regardless of the business model. And it links right back to the business plan. You need that to figure out how much money you actually need.
So calculating those startup costs first, what does that involve?
Making a super detailed list. Supplies, office space if needed, utilities, salaries, website costs, inventory, legal fees, accounting, marketing budget, insurance, permits, everything.
Get specific.
Very. Richter suggests consulting an accountant. And you need to separate one-time costs from ongoing monthly expenses.
All right, you know how much you need. Where does the money come from? What are the options?
Several paths. First is self-funding or bootstrapping, using your own money.
Savings,
Yeah.
retirement funds.
Yep. Or maybe borrowing from friends and family. Pros and cons to each. Friends' family might offer low or no interest, no equity loss, but it can get awkward.
Oh yeah, risking relationships.
Exactly. Using savings or retirement gives you full control, no initial debt, but you're risking your nest egg. Definitely talk to a financial advisor before touching retirement funds.
Okay, what else besides personal cash?
Small business grants. This is basically free money, no repayment, no equity given up.
Sounds great. What's the catch?
Highly competitive. And they usually have very specific criteria you have to meet. Hard to get.
Right. Then there are loans.
Yep, small business loans. These have to be repaid with interest. Some require collateral. You pledge assets as security.
What if you don't have assets to pledge?
There are unsecured options, though riskier for lenders. Things like a line of credit access funds as needed, a term loan lump sum up front, fixed repayment, invoice financing, borrow against what customers owe you, good for cash flow.
Okay.
Inventory financing loans specifically to buy stock with the inventory as collateral, and government loans, like from the SBA in the US, designed to help businesses grow.
What about getting investors involved?
That's another route. You get money, often support and advice too, but usually in exchange for equity, a piece of your company.
Who are these investors?
Could be venture capital firms, VCs. They usually invest in startups with high growth potential, often a bit later stage. Higher risk for them, but potentially higher returns.
And angel investors.
These are typically wealthy individuals. They often invest earlier than VCs, also provide experience, but they also expect significant returns.
And the last option mentioned is crowdfunding.
Right. Raising smaller amounts from lots of people, often through platforms like Kickstarter or Indiegogo. Usually donors get rewards, maybe the product itself, not equity.
Low risk for the owner then.
Generally, yeah. You keep full control. But you need strong online marketing to reach enough people, and you have to read the platform's fine print carefully.
Okay, funding sorted. What about the legal structure? Seems complicated.
It impacts taxes and your personal liability, so it's crucial. The book strongly advises getting legal advice here.
Makes sense. What are the main options?
The most common is the LLC limited liability company. It separates your personal assets from business debts. It can be one owner or multiple.
Simpler options.
Sole proprietorship. Just you. Easiest to set up, but zero separation. You are personally liable for everything. Highest risk.
What about working with others?
Partnership. 2 or more people sharing liability, risks, and rewards. Common for law firms, real estate,
And the most complex?
corporation. S Corp, C Corp, B Corp. It's a completely separate legal entity. Protects owners from liability. C Corp, for example, mean the company is taxed separately from the owners. More paperwork, more rules.
Got it. So funding, legal structure. Chapter 4 talks about setting goals. Seems obvious, but maybe overlooked.
Absolutely critical, according to Richter's, not optional. Goals give you direction, purpose, a roadmap, motivation. How else do you measure progress or know if you need to change course?
True. How do you start setting effective goals?
Start with the big picture. Why did you start this business in the first place? That main why is your long-term motivation. Write it down.
Like build a successful company, achieve financial freedom, make a difference.
Exactly. But those big goals can feel huge, right? So the next step is breaking them down into smaller, achievable business goals.
So instead of just break even,
Yeah,
maybe aim for a specific monthly sales increase.
precisely. It lets you track progress, see what's working, make adjustments, much more manageable.
And then the book brings up the SMART framework.
Yes. Specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time-based. It's a classic for a reason.
Let's break that down. Specific.
Clearly define what you want to do. Who's involved, why, where, what resources. Not just make money, but maybe increase online sales via Amazon by 15% this quarter.
Measurable.
How will you know you hit it? Needs to be quantifiable. Like, drive 20% more traffic to the website measured by analytics.
Attainable.
Realistic. Can you actually achieve it with your current resources and abilities? Should stretch you, but not be impossible. Focus on what you can control.
Relevant.
Does it align with your big picture? Does it move the company forward? Is now the right time for this particular goal?
And time-based.
Needs a deadline. Creates urgency, helps you prioritize. What can you do now, next week, next month to work towards it?
Makes sense. He also mentioned celebrating success.
Yeah, don't just hit a goal and immediately move on without acknowledging it. Celebrate the wins, keep motivation up, but don't dwell too long. The journey continues.
Okay, goal set. Chapter 5 moves to the online world. Seems essential now.
Regenter says it's absolutely non-negotiable. Billions of people are online, shopping, using social media. Even if you have a physical store, you need an online presence.
In the core of that is the website.
Definitely. It's your credibility cornerstone. Inspires confidence, lets customers learn about you 24/7. A must for e-commerce, but real for pretty much everyone else too.
What makes a good small business website? What are the key pieces?
Starts with the domain name, your digital address. Needs to be simple, easy to say, spell, remember. Short is good. Avoid hyphens, numbers, weird slang.
.com is still best.
Generally preferred, most recognized. Think about keywords, but maybe prioritize a brand name for flexibility later and check if it's available.
Okay, got the name, then you need hosting.
Right. the company that actually puts your website on the internet. You need to compare options, features, reliability, security are huge. Mobile support is critical too. Look for backups, maintenance.
And the tool to build the site, CMS.
Content management system. Software like WordPress, Wix, Drupal lets you manage content without being a coder.
Pros and cons.
WordPress is super popular, very flexible, tons of themes plugins, but needs separate hosting, and too many plugins can slow it down. Wix includes hosting, easier to use maybe, but less flexible. Drupal is known for security, good support, maybe fewer bells and whistles than WordPress. Prices vary.
Then the actual building, what's important here?
User experience UX. Is it easy and pleasant to use? That determines if people stay. Use clean themes, readable fonts, consistent colors. Compress images so it loads fast. That impacts SEO too.
Navigation needs to be obvious.
Totally intuitive. Contact info easy to find. Essential pages. Home, about us, contact, product services, terms and conditions, privacy policy, maybe a site map, team page, and a blog.
Why a blog?
Powerful marketing tool. Share industry news, updates, attracts traffic.
What about adding features? Plugins?
Yeah, things like security tools, backup systems, speed optimization, caching, e-commerce functions if you sell online. Choose well-rated, updated plugins, but don't go crazy. They can slow things down.
Content is key, obviously. What goes where?
Homepage, strong message, quick overview, clear navigation. About us, your story, mission, team, vision. Product services, detailed descriptions focus on benefits. Contact us, easy ways to reach you, maybe a form, blog.relevant useful info.
And then SEO, search engine optimization.
Crucial, making your site visible in Google searches. Your competitors are doing it. It involves things like using the right keywords naturally in your text, getting links from other sites, site speed, mobile friendliness. It's ongoing.
Affects whether you show up on page 1 or page 100.
Exactly. Top results get the traffic and leads.
Okay, site's built, optimized, time to launch.
Almost. Richter says install webmaster tools first, like Google Analytics, track performance, traffic page views, bounce rate. Check this regularly.
Test everything first.
Absolutely, especially on mobile. Make sure nothing's broken. And have a maintenance plan. Keep software updated, run security scans, back up data regularly, keeps it secure and running well for SEO.
Moving on to chapter 6, marketing. The book says this can make or break a small business.
Huge difference, yeah. And it really pushes digital marketing over traditional offline stuff.
Why focus mainly on digital?
Well, first, the reach. Global audience potential, not just local. Second, personalization. Tools like Google Analytics let you target specific audiences with ads based on their data demographics, interests, behavior. Much more efficient.
Leads to better leads and profit.
That's the idea. Third, engagement. You can interact directly via social media, your website, build trust, loyalty, respond to feedback.
And it saves money compared to print ads or mailers.
Generally, yes. Reaches more people for less budget, more sustainable long-term.
So how do you start building that digital presence?
Start early. Customers just expect it now. No website or social media looks unprofessional. Check out competitors for ideas, design, content, tone.
Let's dig deeper into SEO and digital strategies. Keywords.
Use words that your target audience actually searches for. Put them naturally in URLs, titles, descriptions, blog posts, product pages. Don't stuff them in unnaturally that hurts rankings. Use tools like Google AdWords to research keywords.
Content marketing.
Creating valuable content videos, articles, guides, attracts visitors, answers their questions, shows you know your stuff, builds trust. Fresh content also helps SEO significantly. Make it informative or entertaining.
Backlinking. Links from other sites.
Super important for credibility in Google's eyes. Quality over quantity. Get links from reputable sites. Ask other relevant sites. Maybe offer guest posts or valuable content they'd want to link to. Never, ever buy backlinks.
Bad quality hurts your ranking.
Yep. Also work on your website itself for SEO. Clean design, fast loading, easy navigation, good headings with keywords. Make key info easy to find.
Social media's role.
Powerful reach. Billions use Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, etc. Drive traffic from social media to your website that helps SEO. Share your content there. Engagement on social media also signals relevance to Google. Put social links on your site.
What about focusing locally? Local search.
Crucial, especially early on. Goal is to show up on Google Maps when someone nearby searches. Optimize content with accurate name, address, phone number, NAP. Consistency is key everywhere online.
Google My Business is essential for this.
Absolutely. Claim and optimize your profile. Add hours, photos, info. Also use other directories like Bing Places, Yelp. Keep info consistent. Be specific with categories. Handmade jewelry store, not just store.
Email marketing, still relevant.
Very. Often overlooked, but low cost and effective. Drives website traffic, good for SEO.
Yeah.
Tell customers about new stuff, offers. Personalize emails based on past behavior. Link back to your site. Use it to build your list. Get signups on your site social. High ROI potential.
And PPC, pay-per-click ads.
You pay only when someone clicks your ad and sit results, or before videos. Good for quick leads. Cost depends on keyword competition.
Key takeaway on marketing seems to be invest in it.
Yes, hire good people if you need to. It seems expensive, but it's crucial for growth. Aim for that first page of Google. Be patient. SEO takes time.
Briefly mentions offline too.
Yeah, things like direct mail can still work for some.
What?
Good packaging makes an impression. Billboards, print ads are options, but usually more expensive and harder to track.
Okay, marketing covered. Chapter 7, building a team. Critical stuff.
Can make or break you, Richter says. You need people who buy into your vision. Can't build it alone.
Hiring the wrong person is costly, right? Training, salary, turnover.
Exactly. Take your time. First step, understand what you need. Write down roles, responsibilities. Create detailed job descriptions. Avoid everyone doing everything leads to burnout.
Define the skills needed for each role.
Yep. List skills, qualities. Picture what they'll actually do. Then prepare for the interview. Draft good questions, experience, teamwork, problem solving. Always check references, verify info.
Need a hiring budget too.
Definitely. Outline salaries based on experience, factor in taxes, insurance.
What about cultural fit? The book stresses this.
Hugely important. Define your company culture, mission, values, desired behavior. Hire people who align with that. Poor fit causes conflict, negativity. Look for positive, motivated people with initiative.
Reduces turnover, builds loyalty.
Creates a much healthier environment. Also, consider different hiring options. Remote workers can save costs, widen the talent pool. Freelancers for project work, cost-effective, good way to test people out.
Where post jobs.
Everywhere relevant. Social media, especially LinkedIn, your website, network, ask for referrals.
Filtering applications sounds like a chore.
It is, but essential. Review resumes, samples, maybe check social media professionally, call references. Look beyond just credentials, passion and creativity matter too. Meet promising people even if they don't tick every box.
And don't settle if you can't find the right person.
Right. Keep looking. Keep the interview process consistent for fairness.
Okay, you've hired someone, now what? Building the team.
Onboarding is key. Have a plan ready. Introduce the mission, goals, their role, expectations. Do some initial training. Crucially, communicate your vision and culture. Set initial team goals.
Get to know their strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah, work closely. Understand what they bring. Communicate effectively to align everyone and use their potential.
Trust in your team. Hard for founders sometimes.
Very. But you have to delegate to focus on the big picture. Give them tools, support them, but trust them to do their job. Avoid micromanaging.
Establish accountability.
Clear expectations, metrics, deadlines. Follow up, acknowledge good work. Mentor those struggling, invest in them.
How do you keep good people? Retention.
Let them grow. Expand roles if they're capable and willing. Provide mentoring. Lack of it is a big reason people leave. Team building exercises can help morale and skills.
Handle failures constructively.
As a team, learn from it, don't blame. Invest in their growth skills, resources, open communication, understand their goals, create a positive environment.
Address negative patterns early.
Yes, can happen despite careful hiring. Try to fix issues. Firing is a last resort. Also, watch your own management patterns being dismissive, micromanaging.
Bottom line, treat them like partners.
Invest in them and they'll likely be loyal and driven.
Final chapter, chapter 8. Managing the business day to day. Poor management leads to failure.
That's what the book says. Success depends on how you run things.
Top tips for managing. Finances first.
Absolutely. Keep personal and business finances separate. Use invoicing software, maybe QuickBooks. Hire an accountant as you grow. Monitor your books regularly, weekly or monthly. Watch cash flow. Spot problems early. Pay estimated taxes regularly.
When to expand. Be careful.
Growth, just for growth's sake, isn't the goal. Focus on return on investment. Sometimes simplifying is more profitable. Expand based on demand and capacity. Don't force it.
But invest in the future.
Yes. Set cash aside for opportunities. Keep good employees. Think long-term. Create opportunities.
Create processes, SOPs.
Consistency is key. Document how things are done. Standard operating procedures. Make them accessible. Part of onboarding. Increases efficiency. But processes need to be flexible too. Be transparent, communicate openly.
Regularly evaluate performance.
Stop and look, quarterly at least, maybe monthly at first. What's working, what's not. Cut inefficiencies.
Uses technology.
Automate where possible. Payroll, invoicing. Saves time and money. Frees people up for human-centric tasks.
Invest in employee satisfaction.
Flexibility, empathy, compassion go a long way towards loyalty.
What about common mistakes to avoid?
Undercharging. Kills profit margins, makes future price hikes painful. Know your costs, set fair margins from the start. Overcharging is bad too, obviously.
Neglecting legal stuff.
Big one. Registering, insurance, IP protection. Avoids huge headaches later.
Letting ego get in the way.
Be open to help. Get mentors, join programs, create an advisory board.
Not using contracts.
Always get things in writing. Suppliers, clients, everyone. Good relationships don't replace legal protection.
Spending carelessly.
Watch the budget, especially early on. Avoid overhiring. Focus on essentials. Don't try to be everything to everyone right away.
So the conclusion is, it's a journey.
A long learning journey. Take it slow, be patient, pay yourself fairly, but don't drain the business. Get trusted advisors, don't burn out, and try to enjoy it. You're building your dream.
So there you have it, a pretty deep dive into those crucial first stages of launching a small business, using Giovanni Ringer's Small Business for Beginners and Dummies as our guide.
Yeah, we've really unpacked the motivations, the planning essentials, navigating funding, setting up that online footprint, key marketing plays, building the team, and the nuts and bolts of managing it all.
And like we said, this is really just the foundation. Each of these areas, needs way more specific exploration depending on your actual business idea and situation.
Right, so thinking about everything we covered, what was the one thing that really stood out to you? Or what questions are still kind of bubbling up?
Definitely encourage you to maybe revisit the source material or do more digging in areas that caught your attention. And most importantly, start taking those first steps.
Yeah, that's key. And here's a final thought to leave you with. The book really emphasizes that every huge success story, it started small, often really small. Your journey starts with that first idea and just the determination to follow through.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us in the Deep Dive Library. We really hope this dissection gave you some valuable insights and maybe a bit more confidence to jump into your own entrepreneurial adventure.
Yeah, definitely. And don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the strategies and the thinking behind successful ventures. You never know, your future empire might just depend on it.